I don't see anyone who's going to run against Kamala Harris. I don't think the governor of Pennsylvania will, Illinois, Michigan, California, New Jersey. I don't think any of them will. And I think she faces a lot of choices. What kind of staff does she hire? What kind of fundraising does she do? Who she picks as her running mate? Does she take over the convention? How much of the convention should be about President Biden? What role does Barack Obama play now? You know, you're going to see a lot of energy and excitement. And I think you could see some rich person trying to figure out if they can slip David Plouffe $10 million to run her campaign, to figure out a way to quickly staff up here. And then the third question, the general election. I've said for many days, there are weaknesses of President Biden that she doesn't have. Most pronouncedly, she's not someone who people don't perceive as having the mental acuity to be president. There's weaknesses that they share, some aspects of the Biden-Harris record on inflation, on immigration, et cetera. And then there are weaknesses that she has that he doesn't. Okay. I think that no one can tell you what kind of general election candidate she can be. There's all sorts of Republican points of view that she can't win. There's all sorts of Democrats who wish the nominee were someone else. President Biden, I know, has grave doubts about it, and has had grave doubts about both what kind of candidate she'd be and what kind of president she'd be if she won. I think normally vice presidential selection matters very little, except picking someone who's qualified to be president and perceived that way. I think this pick matters a lot. I think chances are, if you ask me who I think she'll pick Mark Kelly. We can talk about that. I think the range of options when it was Biden, Trump, was most likely Trump, very big win. Second most likely, Trump, even bigger win. Third most likely, Trump, narrow win. Fourth most likely, Biden, narrow win. I think Kamala Harris could also lose in a landslide, but I also think she can win. And I think the people are going to talk about word salad. They're going to talk about inexperience. They're going to talk about her approval rating. I think the two most important things, truly, or I'd say three most important things. One is, can she manage this? She has not been a good manager of political teams. And let's see if whether she takes the existing team and works with them, whether she brings in a lot of new people. Just to her history as someone leading operations, whether it's Attorney General's office, Senate office, Vice President, or her presidential campaign, she's just not been a good manager of people, and we'll see. Second, she's not been good under pressure. I urge any of you who want to see a case study of the negative side of Kamala Harris, go watch how she handled Medicare for all in her presidential campaign and the flip-flop she did. To me, that was extremely cautionary. She just is not, she's the opposite of a red light performer. And I think that's very cautionary. And then the third thing is, how does she define her vision of the future that's separate from Joe Biden? Does she come up with 2 or 3 policy ideas that are new and separate that help define something that the people who are thinking about the real lives of real people would care about? Can she do that in a way that's effective? I will tell you, I said all the time about Joe Biden and his acuity. It wasn't as bad as the Republicans said, but it wasn't nearly as fine as the Democrats said. I'd say the same thing about the vice president's prospects of winning this race and her general political skills and intelligence. She's not as bad, nearly as bad as Republicans say, but she's not as good as her defenders say. And she's going to have to now rise to the occasion. I think if she rises to the occasion, she could win. I don't have any doubt about that, but I do have doubts about whether she'll be able to rise to the occasion. I knew her before she was Attorney General, or before she was Senator, rather. I have incredible respect for her. And like Mitt Romney, like Hillary Clinton, like several other people who've run for president, the private version is significantly better than the public version. She just is having trouble presentation. And she's now been in a little bit of a psyched out mode. She'll be able to galvanize on abortion rights better than Joe Biden would, no question. She'll be able to potentially energize constituencies that he couldn't. And there's going to be extreme excitement about this. Her against Donald Trump is an extraordinary story. There was a boring story about Trump versus Biden that the press wasn't interested in, a lot of the public was turned off by. This is an incredible story. And if she plays her cards right, and her team does, she can win back the traditional Democratic advantage with the media in a presidential campaign. Joe Biden was never going to do that, even before the debate. And after the debate, he had zero chance of doing that. And in general, whichever side has the press's favor has won every presidential election I've ever covered.